Hello ladies and gentlemen, BTM here bringing you my second vlog video, and in today's vlog video I'm going to be doing a alphabet challenge, or my life in letters as I believe it's commonly referred to. I thought this would be a good way for you to get to know me a bit, and it'd be a fun exercise for us to do. So without any further ado, let's get started and let's make the letter A appear right here. For the letter A, I'm going to choose the word atheist. I am a atheist, and I will be talking about a religious journey in a lot of later vlogs. I have a lot to say and a lot of research and thoughts to share about that. So I'm not an angry atheist. I do eat babies and punch widows in the face when I see them crossing the street, but that's that. For the letter B, I chose to go with my favorite TV show, or one of my favorite TV shows, Battlestar Galactica. Like, what the heck? Oh my god, I am such a huge BSG fan. It's slightly ridiculous. I love Battlestar Galactica. So letter B, Battlestar Galactica. For letter C, I chose the word cautious. I think I tend to be a little bit more of a cautious person. Like, I definitely have this like mental thing where like I step through the barrier, and I think of fear more like a wall rather than like a crippling thing. So it's like I just gotta step through that wall of fear. But definitely a cautious person, so I think for C, cautious definitely describes me. Okay, so for letter D, I thought the word debate or debater or debates would fit me well. One of my favorite hobbies when I'm not doing anything is I love to listen to debates. I love to listen to debates between all different religious sects, philosophy, economics, politics, like listening to debates, listening to what people have to say, listening to a forum where you exchange ideas. That's what I really enjoy, and that's what one day I would love to be able to do. I would love to write my own books, or be somebody notable enough to have somebody come and argue with me. So D, debater, I thought that was a good fit. For E, I went with the word Europa Universalis. I love that game series. I'm currently playing the fourth one. We're going to be bringing some videos of it soon. But that is one of the game series I do waste a fair amount of time on when I probably should be doing better things. EU4 is fabulous. The new expansion, I love it. It's a great game. I really enjoy it. I love the historical gameplay like that. Okay, so for letter F, I chose football, as in American football. I played 4 years of it in high school. I love football. Football's my life. Well, it was my life. It's not my life anymore, but I loved breaking down plays. I love studying. I love watching film. I love lifting. I love the culture. So that was letter for F. For letter G, probably kind of clashes with the football. I'm going to pick gamer. I am such a gamer. Whether I like to admit it or not, I've always played games and enjoyed strategizing games, whether it's card games, board games, video games. Gaming is something I really enjoy. For letter H, I chose Christopher Hitchens, or Hitchens as the letter. He's just one of my favorite thinkers, and definitely was a huge impact on me in terms of learning about the world and looking at it in a different light. His oratory skills and his ability to pick somebody apart in a debate was just so fabulous. I'd recommend you Googling his name and listening to some of his speeches. Whether you agree with him or not, you cannot deny the mastery of which the man spoke, a level that very few will ever reach the level of eloquence. Something I would like to aspire to someday. For letter I chose the word impatient. I am an impatient person. I'd like to think that I'm not. I'd like to think I'm chill in this, but I'm impatient, and I get grumpy when things don't go my way. I want what I want when I want it. I hate waiting. Waiting's for losers. Impatience. Totally me. So for the letter J, I think I'm going to go with Joker, my favorite Batman villain. Close second is Bane, but oh my goodness, he was just so awesome. I loved the bit. I memorized the whole monologue where he like puts a knife in the guy's mouth, the girl's mouth, and he's like, "Did I ever tell you about my father?" And oh my goodness, love the Joker, loved his character, loved his story arcs. By far one of my favorites. Oh, Joker's awesome. So for the letter K, which should be right there still, I think I'm going to go with the word kind. I want to be a kind person. I have a mean streak. I mean, I played football, I'm a gamer, I'm impatient, so you can see that there's some elements of me, no matter how nice I appear on the internet, where I do have a subtle mean streak just kind of boiling up inside of me. And I also like to put pens on my head, but kind of this evilness coming inside of me that wants to strangle people. But that aside, I want to be a kind person. I want people to remember me as a kind person. So K, kind. Write it on my tombstone. This man was a kind person. But I do genuinely want to make the world a better place and help people. So kindness is something I value highly. The letter L. L is for the way you look at me. Okay, letter M. Molyneux, as in Stefan Molyneux. He's the host of the Free Domain radio show. As I itch my face, host of the Free Domain radio show on Facebook or on YouTube. Also to podcasts. He's a libertarian. He's a philosopher. He studied a ton of philosophy. He always has really interesting and wise things to say, whether you agree with him or not. Again, very, very eloquent, very, very helpful at identifying yourself and learning how to think about yourself and learn about the world. Great respect for him. Don't agree with everything he says, but he's made me become a better thinker and a person and forced me to confront a lot of what I believe and why. And so in some I agree with him, some I don't, but all around it's been a good process. Stefan Molyneux, that's my word for M. I guess it's probably dangerous to put somebody as a letter and be like, oh, I identify with them, and rather than being my own person. But I do identify as my own person. I just think in this case, and due to a lack of interesting words that begin with the letter M that would replace him, I thought Stefan Molyneux was a good choice. Okay, so for N, I'm going to do Nolan, as in Christopher Nolan. One of my favorite filmmakers, mainly just because I love the Batman trilogy, but also I thought the most recent Superman was good, maybe not the best as it could have been, and I loved Inception. Nolan is a fantastic filmmaker. I love the Chiaroscuro style of The Dark Knight, and I love the story arcs. I quote Dark Knight all the time. Of course! That was a horrible Bane impression, but I do Bane impressions, and I walk around going, where's Rachel? Swear to me! Because I'm Batman, so... I'm Batman. For O, I'm gonna pick O. Pew! Okay, so for the letter O, I'm gonna pick the word omniverted, which is something I didn't know was a thing till I saw it the other day. And it's kind of people who swing between being inverted and extroverted. Inverted and extroverted. Sorry, I can see myself there, so it's like, it's kind of distracting. I'm like, trying to pay attention to you, but then I'm like, ooh. You know what I mean? Anyway, omniverted. I think I'm an omnivert because I do love being alone. I do love, and not in a bad way, I just love to think, I love to read, I love to play video games, I love to work out, I love to run. I love to write. I love to do things solo. But I do like being with people, and I do crave people's affections. And so it's very much like a pendulum. Sometimes I want people, sometimes I don't. Simple as that. Omniverted, I think, is a good way to describe me. For the letter P, I'm going to pick everybody's favorite childhood game series, but especially mine, Pokemon. I haven't followed Generation 5 and 6 that much, but up until Generation 4, I knew every single Pokemon, their egg moves, the levels they learned their moves, all their evolution, where more or less every item in every single Pokemon game was. I was a hardcore Pokemon fan. Hardcore. Like, oh my goodness. I was a Pokemaniac, Pokemon master. So Pokemon it is. Kind of grown away from it a little bit, but if they make a really good Pokemon game again, I might get back into it. It might be time for one more good last run with Pokemon. You know what I mean? Okay, so next letter. For the letter Q, there's not a lot of words that begin with Q. I mean, the first one that came to mind was quiet, but I'm definitely not quiet. So I think I'm going to have to go with the word quirky. I do have a lot of quirks, and I enjoy flaunting them, and I enjoy being unique, and I enjoy being my own person. So Q, quirky, that's me, Big Thunder Man. For the letter R, I picked the word reader. I'm going to make letters appear there, I promise. Okay, I picked the word reader because I love to read. I have a lot of books. And I love reading books. I like going to the library, although I don't do that as much as I used to when I was younger. But reading's interesting, and you can read a lot online now too. But reading, I find that the ability to gain knowledge from printed word and formulate thoughts, it's just, I identify myself as a person who likes to read, and I do enjoy reading. So, R, reader. Some books I'm reading right now, actually, are Sophie's Choice by William Styrone, and God is Not Great, How Religion Poisons Everything by Christopher Hitchens. But I've read tons of things. I've read a lot of theology, actually, and I've read a lot of atheist material, and I've read a lot of literature, classic, and at one point, up until about 2 years ago, I had read every book in the Star Wars Expanded Universe. And then they added, like, the most recent series, and I quit following it just because I didn't have time, but I had read all the Yazang Vong, all the Pre-Republic, all the Legacy of the Force, everything. I was up to date in it. Young Han Solo, oh my goodness, loved it. Darth Maul, Shadowhunter, everything. Read it, love it. Star Wars, woo! Actually, that's a perfect segue. I was looking at my list just down here. That's a perfect segue, because for S, I'm going to say Star Wars. Oh my goodness. I love Star Trek. I love Doctor Who. I love Battlestar Galactica. Farscape I like, but I haven't really watched that much of it, so I'm just throwing that in there for a family member who likes Farscape. Wink, wink. But there's nothing that compares to Star Wars for me. It was it. When I was a little kid, I saw Episode 1 in theaters, and I was like jumping up and down in my theater seat because it was so freaking awesome. I had the VHS tape of Star Wars 1, and I just gotta say, pod racing and double-bladed lightsabers, you get them when they're young, and you never let go. I love Star Wars. So for the letter T, I'm gonna pick the word thinker. I'm trying to make a light. No, that's a heart, but like, I don't know, like the idea that you have a mind, mind blown. But the idea you have a mind, the idea that you think, the idea that you use your head. I remember just like 3 or 4 years ago thinking, you know, I never really sit and think or analyze the world or have my own opinion. I just kind of run off of facts and just hasty judgments. I said, I want to be somebody educated with the world and a strong opinion that I've logically thought through. I kind of started making conscious choices and started thinking, and ever since that I've thought more and more and more and more and more. And now I feel like I'm actually fairly, I don't know, I like to think. I like to look at the world through my head and process information, and I define myself as a thinker. For letter U, I'm going to say university because I currently attend one. I attend Baylor University in Texas, but I'm from California, so it's kind of a culture shock. I'm also not a Baptist, I'm an atheist, so that's also kind of culture shock. But I'm at Baylor, so university, I'm doing that university thing. For the letter V, I'm going to choose the word voracious. Voracious, and that means truthful. I definitely can be devious, and I definitely can bend the truth or kind of play with it occasionally, but I do tend to tell the truth. I like to tell the truth. It does make me uncomfortable to lie. It does, and it's kind of strange. I don't have a good poker face. I tend to, when I know something exciting or trying to hide something, I have great difficulty in hiding it, not just being like, blah, telling everybody instantly. So voracious probably describes me fairly well. For the letter W, I want to go with the word writer. That's my goal. I want to be a professional writer. I want to write screenplays and novels and be a great speaker on subjects that I care about. Writer, that's me. For the letter X, I'm going to go with Xerxes, as in MTG Xerxes. One of the first YouTube channels I started following about 7 years ago, 6 years ago. The channel's been around since 2007. He did narrated Pokemon battles before it was a thing, and he's still around occasionally. Fabulous channel. I loved it. Not the highest quality, but definitely one of my biggest inspirations to get into YouTube. For Y, I'm going to do YouTube, obviously. I've either followed it for years and now I'm part of it. So YouTube has always been an interesting part of my life. I've learned a lot through what I can learn through lectures on YouTube. I've played a lot of games because I saw them on YouTube, and now I make YouTube content. I've made friends on YouTube, like Interjection. We're buddies. So there you go, you. And last but not least, for the letter Z, I'm going to have to go with the word zombie. Not only because there are literally like 5 words that start with the letter Z, but because I don't want to be one. If the entire world's a zombie, I want to be the one human skipping, you know, painting pictures and not being in with the mass. I want to march to my own beat. So I hope that, guys, this video is probably a little bit longer than I intended. I wanted to give an explanation for each thing. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a comment if you have any ideas for future things you would like to see or any thoughts on anything I said. And before I leave, I do have a quote of the day, and I wrote it down somewhere. Okay, I definitely wrote it down. Okay, I'm going to try to do it from memory, if I remember correctly. And our quote of the day is, "Do not cry because it's over. Smile because it happened." And that's from Dr. Seuss. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, good luck and happy hunting. My name is BTM, and I will catch you on the flippity flip.